Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Readiness on the Time of the Shift. It is now New Year's Eve 2020, and I am here going through a spiritual process that I would like to share with you. I have been doing this for several years now, and it is based on a Buddhist principle called Bardo. As a matter of fact, the Tibetan Book of the Bed is written on that principle. A short version of this is that all souls, when they transition out of this life, must spend 49 days examining their life. By examining the successes, the failures, as it relates specifically to the fulfillment of their life purpose. And then from that standpoint, after that review, the 49 days have passed, the soul now will come back to find new circumstances to reincarnate, giving the degree of success or failure of that life purpose. They will recreate an environment in which they can continue to incorporate again into physical reality as a way to fulfill that life purpose. Instead of waiting for the end of your life for this to happen, I do a yearly bardo, where a few days before the end of the year, I begin to examine all the successes that happened for me in the year that's leaving, let's say 2019. And then I also begin to examine the challenges, the so-called failures, and all the things that didn't work. And I begin to examine why they didn't work. Now let's go deep into this. Because to a lot of people, success may mean making six-figure or making $1 million, making $100 per hour or making $1,000 per hour. But if financial success is what you call success, then you don't understand Bardo. Because when you die and you go on the other side, this is not a measure of success. What's a measure of success is the impact that you have in making sure that your purpose was fulfilled. So it may not have anything to do with the amount of money. It's not like he who died with the most money wins or fulfill their life purpose, but rather it's about you making sure that you're happy. One of the questions, if you're doing this exercise, you should ask yourself, was I happy? Because you could be making all the money in the world and yet not be happy. You could have all the popularity in the world, have all the attention that anybody can desire, and have yourself booked at every event that there is, yet you're not happy. So, and I know for a fact that many of you listening to me, including myself in this, were challenged tremendously in 2019. This is a part that we need to come to terms with. In my case, since my concern is not so much about the financial success, but my relationship, my emotional relationship to others, a lot of the people around me that were entangled in all kinds of challenges, these challenges become to a degree, my responsibility. I internalize them as me being responsible for them. And that created a kind of chaos that I had to unravel. And in a way, the failures or the challenges themselves become opportunity for you to learn something if you understand the challenge the right way. There is no such thing as Lord Buddha says, life is suffering, but all suffering comes from wrong perception. So if you understand the difficulties from the standpoint of what Buddha was saying, when the glass is half empty, instead of looking at the glass as half empty, you see it as half full. And you understand what you must do. So you do the analysis with care. You create two columns. On the one hand, you have all the successes, and the things that you set yourself to do at the beginning of 2019 that you have accomplished. You also set another column in which you establish all the things that didn't work and why they didn't work. And then you make a readjustment. You begin to reanalyze. And a lot of time it's because we have standards that are so high and threshold, and we set up things that are impossible for us to accomplish because they go against the grain of our life purpose. And if you're not clear about your life purpose, this is an examination that will help you get closer and closer to what that life purpose is. Because by the time you see where the successes and the failures were, it's going to, by a process of elimination, it's going to let you understand what's important, what's not important. Because to my understanding, with all my friends, students, family members that were challenged health-wise, economically, personally, in very deep and profound way, identity-wise, all of them came to the same conclusion. What they thought was important at the beginning of 2019 turned out to be unimportant. And there was a deduction. And it's through that deduction and that reduction that you can now begin to move toward creating goals for 2020. And you can begin to create realistic goals and what you need to achieve in terms of you moving into a place where it's the exchange and the giving and the receiving between us as human beings. And if you can accomplish that and make money at the same time, find happiness while you're doing this, find joy, celebrate, and more importantly, be grateful for the fact that you were given the opportunities and the challenges because they were able to teach you something. I'm asking God, as I'm doing this process, God, do not take away the challenges and the tests away from me, but give me the clarity, the insight, and the wisdom to learn the lesson once and for all so that I don't have to repeat this again. This is what my prayer is as I transition now into 2020. And I'm creating these goals and I'm setting up these benchmarks. And if in the process money comes and I'm able, it will mean that my work of establishing deeper and more profound relationship with human beings will be much more impactful if I have more money. But it is not the money that's the goal. It is not the money that's the life purpose. It is the money is able to get me into a broader audience. Maybe I can hire more staff. I can have a full marketing team. I can do a whole bunch of other stuff that I can't do right now. But the more important, the thing that I have to remain clear in my head, it is not the life purpose. I want you to think about this for a moment and think about what I'm saying, because if you do this right, this will begin your year the right way. And by the end of 2020, you're going to be better set up to advance into 2021. Now, having said all of this, there is an astrological event of great importance that's happening in January 2020, which is around the corner, which is the Uranus and Pluto conjunction. This is something that has not happened since the First World War. Uranus is the architect, and it is the foundation, and Pluto is the underworld. It's death. And it may sound catastrophic, but it doesn't have to be. It means that if you are aligned with your life purpose to the level that you understand your life purpose to be, nothing is going to happen to you. But to individual, to communities, to collective, to nation, to people, to the planet, who is not aligned with their heart and their truth, they're going to experience all kind of catastrophic disaster, because if it is the wrong foundation, the underworld will unroot it. Pluto will take it out by force. It will be like trying to stop an avalanche. Many of you have already experienced this in 2019 because of the shadow period of that conjunction. Many of you have already experienced this, where you are now facing challenges, things that you thought were impossible for somebody at your level, at your stature, for that to happen to you. No matter what shows up, use it as an opportunity to learn. Whatever the challenge is, whatever shows up for me at this moment, what am I creating for myself? Because I am the co-creator with God. Whatever is happening outside, I am creating. Whatever is happening to me, I'm creating. What am I trying to teach myself through this? And then I internalize it inward. It's a mirror. I'm internalizing it inward, and I'm now realizing, what am I reflecting back? What is it inside of me that's not aligned, that's causing the outside to be misaligned? And then whatever that is, I'm going to change it. And that's the way to approach, I think. And your life purpose is going to evolve, because a lot of us, the reason we are not clear about the life purpose is that we are masters of self-deceit. We lie to ourselves incessantly. And as you unravel and dismantle all these false beliefs and these lies, self-created lies, or lies that we've been domesticated into believing, as you dismantle that, your life purpose will become clearer and clearer. So this is the reason for this exercise, which is the Yearly Bardo, which is to examine what happened the year before, examine all of this with this proper filter, not the filter of success and a perfect relationship and this, that, and the other, all of which can end in the snap of a finger. So the best relationship you can have is the relationship you have with your God, or the relationship you have with yourself. Okay? And if you have that and you're happy, ask yourself this: was I happy last year? And if you were not happy, you need to make changes to make sure that happiness returns into your life. And things are really simple. We make it incredibly complicated by taking the value that the entire system and peer pressure is pushing on us for us to accomplish, instead of following what exists in our heart and what is true to us. Set up a realistic goal at the end of this exercise going into 2020 as a projection, a Bardo projection for this next year, and figure out exactly what you need to do. And maybe 3 months from now, you might want to adjust it. As you uncover more and more false belief or crumbling and more lies are being revealed to you, you may want to readjust it. And as it goes along, you keep shifting and readjusting. This is what my guide keeps talking about: emotional and spiritual agility. So do the best that you can with what you have now. Wishing you all the best. I am very grateful to have you listening to me. I am very grateful for all the challenges that were presented to me. I am very grateful for all the lessons that I've learned, and I'm open to learn more lessons. And I'm open to all future challenges with the understanding that I have the clarity, the insight, and the wisdom to learn my lesson. Love you very deeply. Please share this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you in 2020. Thank you.